is your full name?
Hester K. West.
Where are you from?
Originally from Grand Junction, Colorado, and I moved when I was 9 to South Texas. And then when I was 18, I moved up here in June of 2001.
How old were you on September 11th, 2001?
I was pregnant with you 6 months, so I was 19.
Were you scared of being attacked by terrorists before 9/11?
Nope.
Why were you not afraid?
Because I was young and I've never heard of any terrorist attacks before, so never thought about it before, so nope, that's why.
How did you find out about the attacks and what were you doing at the time?
I was driving to a doctor's appointment and I was listening to Drew and Mike on 101.1 and it was a comedy radio station, so I thought they were doing a comedy bits and I sounded kind of like an Orson Welles War of the Worlds and I didn't think it was very funny. And so when I went into the doctor's appointment, I asked, they made it sound like a news program, so when I went to the doctor's appointment, I asked if they knew what was going on, and they said, nope. And so when I went back into my car after the appointment, it was still going on, and then by this time, it was the second plane that crashed into the second building, and I was like, what is going on? So I went home, turned on the news with my family, and we just watched it, and I realized it was real, and I just could not believe what was going on. I couldn't believe my ears, my eyes, and my mind. I just couldn't wrap my mind around it.
What is your most vivid memory of that day?
Listening to the radio and the doctor's appointment, but mostly listening to the radio station and just couldn't believe that it was real.
What do you remember about the nation and its leaders coming together in the days following September 11th?
I don't remember much about the nation's leaders coming together. Actually, I remember the nation falling apart and dividing into two sides. What I really actually remember is the amount of people going to New York, the people, the retired police department and firefighters and celebrities going out to help the people, help the victims, them coming together, and just the people in general, the nation in general, right after coming together to support the victims and the victims' families. That's what I remember the most.
How did you feel about the decision to invade Afghanistan and Iraq?
I thought it was a very poor decision because I thought it was mostly a knee-jerk reaction to do something because the public was asking for answers. And then later in life, when I found out really what was going on, found out that it was even a worse decision because they weren't really the ones that was involved. The country itself, those two countries really weren't the ones involved.
How have the additional security measures at airports made you feel?
Again, I think it was just more of a knee-jerk reaction because they needed to do something to make us feel safe at airports. But I do feel safer at airports, but a lot of it I think is a little overkill, but I guess necessary. So I support some of it, most of it.
Do you think that terrorism can be defeated?
No, I don't. Absolutely not, because I think someone has a will, they will always find a way.
What do you believe should be done to protect the United States?
I think we should always, definitely always teach tolerance and always teach differences between each culture so people know about different cultures. And I think we should always promote stability, prosperity in cultures so they don't get so poor and desperate that they rise up against one's own system and economic system and against other people's countries, especially our own.
How has 9/11 changed you?
it's definitely opened my eyes to politics, to other people's governments and their other people's countries, basically, and what's going on in the world around me.
What would you want students to know about this day?
I would want students to know about this day, like, just basically just their generation, because their parents, their grandparents, they had World War I. Parents had also Vietnam. They had World War I, Vietnam, Pearl Harbor. They all had their generation definition of like that. Now we had, you guys, you now have 9/11. That's your generation defining moment is now 9/11. And then again, everybody's always had that defining moment when Elvis died, when JFK died, the moon landing. They all know where they were when that happened. Everybody knows where they were when 9/11 happened. Like, I now know where that happened, so that's crazy. So hopefully something good will happen in your day for you guys. So I guess that's